What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to Potted Plant Entertainment. My name is Chris, and in case you don't know, I review movies and I rank them on a scale of 0 to 100 in increments of 5. Today, we are talking about one of my most anticipated movies of the year, Jurassic World Dominion. Now look, I've already reviewed Jurassic Park and The Lost World Jurassic Park on my channel, so I have a playlist if you want to go check those out. I will be reviewing Jurassic Park 3 as well as Jurassic World and Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom after this review. So those are coming, as well as all the other stuff that I talked about doing before, like the Summer of Marvel. That's all coming as well. I was really excited for this. And I gotta tell you, I left the theater disappointed. It's not horrible. There were some things about it I really liked, but go into this with your expectations low, guys, if you haven't already seen it. It doesn't officially come out until tomorrow, but don't go into this expecting it to be even as good as this, because it's not. It's not. I do think I like it a little bit better than Fallen Kingdom, though, but it just, yeah. It's fine. It's fine. So let's talk about it. So Jurassic World Dominion stars Chris Pratt, Bryce Dallas Howard, Laura Dern, Sam Neill, Jeff Goldblum, DeWanda Wise, Odu Arthi, Isabella Sermon, Campbell Scott, B.D. Wong, and Omar Sy, and it was directed by Colin Trevorrow. Now, as always, this will be spoiler-free until I give my rating for the movie. Once I give my rating for the movie, that's when I will be delving into spoilers. So, Jurassic World Dominion. This takes place 4 years after the events of that one. So, 2018, 2022. And now we are living in a world where we cohabitate with dinosaurs. And there's this corporation that is doing this shady stuff with locusts to try and, like, control the world's food and, like, make a famine and stuff. And the legacy characters come back and they get involved to unravel this conspiracy as well. The plot that I just gave you is not the one I wanted to give you. They worked to build up an actual Jurassic World. The first movie was called Jurassic World because they wanted to make Earth Jurassic World. And then we got to this movie and they just didn't really do as much with that. And I'll talk about that in a minute, but let's talk about the things I liked about it first. So for one thing, the sound was really good. I went to go see this in the standard Regal cinema, and the sound was fantastic. I mean, it was booming through the mics, and I felt, especially during the motorcycle sequence that you see in the trailers, it sounded really good. The CGI was fantastic, and there's a lot of practical dinosaurs in this. I was like, yes, thank you for this. There's a lot of practical dinosaurs in this, and this isn't just all CGI like these two. I mean, those two did have, like, a little bit, but this one actually had a good mix of practical and CGI. I was like, thank you, yes, like, that's great, that's wonderful. Thank you for that. Thank you for having practical effects. I mean, that really did mean the world to me. Isabella Sermon is really good in the movie. I know a lot of people didn't like her in the last one. I didn't like her either because of a dumb decision she made at the end of the movie, but in this movie, she is really good. Jeff Goldblum is fantastic in this movie. I loved him in it. He brought a lot of charisma to this. He was very funny in the movie. I went to see this with my little sister. He had her cracking up. So I loved him in this. He and the other legacy characters stepped right back into these shoes so well. They feel like they didn't miss a beat. The original cast returning was great. I loved them together. I loved them getting together with the new characters. I wish Star Wars had done that. Star Wars brought back all the legacy characters, but they spread them out, and you never got them all together at once, and it was really disappointing. Well, here they do not do that. They get the legacy characters all back together, and it just feels like old times again, and it was super nice, and it was super heartwarming. The action is really good. There is great action. All the dinosaur stuff is fantastic. Chris Pratt even has a fight scene in this movie that has too many cuts in it, but it's still really good. Fantastic. Fast and Furious like action, and it really, really good stuff. The dinosaur battles, great. All the action, it's so much fun. This is a big summer blockbuster film. We have gotten so far away from this. I mean, this movie is nothing like this movie. All right, Dominion is nothing like this. We've gone so far away from what Jurassic Park was, and we've gone into this big sci-fi blockbuster action thing. That's just what Jurassic Park is now, and I don't like it as much. I understand that, but there's a lot of action, and it's still really good, but I do wish it was more like this. There's some really good tension in this movie as well. There's a scene where you see it in the trailer where Bryce Dallas Howard is crawling on the ground and she starts to get into this water because she's being stalked by this dinosaur that can't see, but it knows she's there. It's really, really cool. Really, really good Spielberg-esque tension there. It was really nice. The cinematography is wonderful, absolutely wonderful, and there's some really good music in it. Okay, all right, let's get into the cons. This one, I'm going to skip down my list here to this one, because this one is my biggest problem with this entire trilogy. There are no truly memorable sequences in the Jurassic World trilogy. There is no building of tension. Yes, there is tension in these movies, especially Fallen Kingdom. Fallen Kingdom has some fantastic tension in it, but it doesn't have any memorable scenes where it builds the tension. For example, take The Lost World, which I think is a flawed masterpiece. There's this great scene where you have Vince Vaughn, Julianne Moore, and Jeff Goldblum. They're in this mobile home on the island, right? And these two T-Rex come, okay? And they're looking at the windows and they're trying not to move and they're staring at, right? That tension is starting to build up, right? And then they start knocking it. But oh wait, now they're pushing it off the cliff. Oh, but wait, now Julianne Moore is on glass, and every time she makes a little move, the glass starts cracking. Oh, but wait, here comes Eddie Carr to save the day. He's got a rope on the front of his car that he can use to attach to it so that he can put the car in reverse and pull it back up. Oh, but no, wait, he didn't give it enough slack, so now he's got to run back to the car and get more slack. Now he's running and he's tied it up. Oh, great. But now he slipped in the mud. You see what I'm saying? Like, it just builds and it adds all these other things. It just builds and builds and builds. There's nothing memorable like that in any of these Jurassic World movies, and it's very, very disappointing. It also doesn't make sense how there's dinosaurs all over the world. How did they get to other continents? The movie says they spread to other continents, but it doesn't bother explain how. It's also very slow. This movie takes forever to get going. Forever. I was bored. Let's see. What's her name? DeWanda Wise. There's a scene where she gets a truck and she drives a truck away from dinosaurs, but she literally just gets in this random truck that's unlocked. She gets in the truck, starts the truck, and drives it. Where'd you get the keys? Were they just in the truck with it unlocked? I mean, that does happen, but it's just, come on, man. All right. Some of the dialogue's a little cringeworthy. So you seen the trailer, there's like, they put feathers on some of the dinosaurs. That didn't really work for me. It didn't look good, in my opinion. I didn't like the feathers on the dinosaurs. Maybe a lot of you do, but that just didn't work for me. Jeff Goldblum who has a friend in this movie, played by Mamoudou Athie. That character is completely pointless. I wish he wasn't in the movie. You take him out of the movie and change up one scene a little bit to where Jeff Goldblum gets a little bit more useful, and he has no purpose in the film. He's just there to give Jeff Goldblum important information about this company. But it's like Jeff Goldblum could just get this information on his own. He doesn't need him. So this character, I wish he wasn't in the movie. It's just, I wish he was entirely removed. He does not need to be in this movie. He's completely pointless. I don't understand why they put this character in it. It should have been about clearing the dinosaurs out of civilization, not an evil company in Locust. That's all I'm saying. Because they built to Jurassic World, and then they focus on it, a shady company. It's just like, come on, man. Why? Really? Blue doesn't do anything in the movie. Blue is there. He's here in the trailers, but she doesn't do anything. There's this lady in a white dress in the movie, and she feels very cartoonish, and she's there for like 2 minutes, and then she's forgotten. So, that sucked. Chris Pratt never gets a character arc. This entire trilogy. I love Chris Pratt in this trilogy. I love Owen Grady as a character, but he never gets a character arc, and that's and that feels like such a disservice to the character, because it's a great character, played amazingly by Chris Pratt. Why doesn't he get a character arc? It's very disappointing. Bryce Dallas Howard got a great character arc from the first movie to the second one. It's just, so why not do it here? I don't. And it never. Well, that's a spoiler. Yeah, that's a spoiler. So let me go ahead and put a star next to that so I don't spoil it. Look, overall, this is a fun theater-going experience. It is. I had a good time with this. I do plan to go back and see it again after the movie's been out for a little while and the crowds have had a chance to die down. But I gotta tell you, man, I was disappointed. I was disappointed. It's just, we will never get something to live up to this. The closest we've had to living up to this is this. And like I said, I think this is a flawed masterpiece. I love The Lost World. Go check out my review for it. I talk about why I love this movie so much. These two, to me, go together really nice. I like watching these two back to back because I love this one so much, even though it's not as good as this. But we have just gotten so far away from the original Jurassic Park. I mean, it's just... And I just... it's so irritating. I mean, this is they did this. It's like the Star Wars sequel trilogy. You know, The Force Awakens was pretty good, not perfect, but pretty good. Just like Jurassic World. I really like Jurassic World, and I will be reviewing it, talking about why. But then the other two are just no. Although I will say this is a much better movie than The Rise of Skywalker. No, don't get me wrong. Okay, The Rise of Skywalker sucked. Okay, this doesn't suck. I enjoyed it, but it's disappointing, man. And I was disappointed. I enjoyed it. I did. But I was a little disappointed. So with all that being said, I'm going to give Jurassic World Dominion a 65. I really wanted this to be a solid 8 out of 10. I was hoping it would be at least as good as this, but it's not, unfortunately. That's the way the cookie crumbles. All right, so let's go ahead and get into my spoilers. So, for one thing, it makes... This is a spoilers section, just so you don't whine and complain in the comments. I've never had anyone do that, but just in case it were to ever happen, spoilers. Okay? This movie doesn't even officially come out until tomorrow, but here come the spoilers. Okay, you've been warned. Let's get started. So for one thing, it makes Ellie and Grant a couple again. They fall back in love. Like you can feel the tension through them throughout the movie. She had since gotten a divorce from her husband that you see in Jurassic Park 3. And it makes them a couple, which was nice because that was one of the big problems I had with Jurassic Park 3. Is that it feels like this relationship, this great relationship that they had with each other in the first movie is just thrown away in the third one. It's like, why? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? So it was very nice that they fixed that in this movie and they got them back together. I believe me when I tell you, as a fan of Jurassic Park, that meant a lot to me. Like, I was sitting there in my seat, I thought, yes, thank you. I'm not necessarily a person who has to have this beautiful romance and it all works out, it's all happy and between the couple. But here, I really needed that. And the fact that this movie gave that to me, that warmed my fanboy heart. So thank you so much for getting those two back together. That really did mean a lot to me. Let's see. Okay, so at the beginning of the movie, you see Bryce Dallas Howard and the two characters that nobody gave a crap about from Fallen Kingdom. They steal a baby Triceratops from this illegal breeding people. And when they do it, this alarm sounds. And I thought, what illegal operation has an alarm at their facility? Okay. So Dodson from the original Jurassic Park. Dodson, we got Dodson here. He's the villain in this movie. And he sucks. He is horrible. I hate him. He's an awful, God, atrocious villain. One of the worst movie villains I have ever seen. He's terrible. I hate him. I hated every scene he was in. He sucked. That's about it. So, yeah, that's about it. So, Jurassic World Dominion, 65 out of 100. I really wanted to like this more than I did, guys. I really did. It's the way it is, man. It's the way it is. Maybe if Spielberg had directed it, and maybe if it had better writing. No, it wasn't even the directing that I had the problem with. It was the writing. Who hired these writers and why? Same for this one. Who hired the Fallen Kingdom? Who hired those writers? They're not good writers. Stop hiring these crappy writers. Like, Hollywood doesn't seem to realize, you hire good writers, you get a solid written movie. You hire crappy writers, you get a crappy written movie. Why is that so hard to understand? I don't know. Like, I think one of the writers of this movie wrote Pacific Rim 2, which I've never seen, but I've heard is crap. So, I don't know what they're thinking. But Jurassic World Dominion, I'm gonna go back and see it again because I did enjoy it. It is fun. Don't get me wrong. I didn't hate this movie. I did not hate this movie. It's fun. And it was nice to see these characters back. And they did a great job bringing them back and making these legacy characters not just side characters. They're actually main characters in the movie. And I appreciated that. They aren't just part of the supporting cast. They're main characters. Thank you for that. That was wonderful. But yeah. So, let's see. I didn't miss anything, did I? No, that's it. Yeah. Oh. No, I did forget one. Look at that. It never resolves the dinosaur-human cohabitation. It never resolved it. We're at the end of the movie, they're just like, we're just gonna have to cohabitate. And I'm like, dude, they're dinosaurs. You can't. That doesn't make sense. No. I don't accept that. I don't accept cohabitating with dinosaurs. No. Like, listen to Jeff Goldblum. He's been the voice of reason throughout this entire series. Okay? I just... yeah, this movie wasn't very well written, guys. Anyway, whatever. I'm done. Alright, thank you so much for watching. Subscribe to Pod Player Entertainment for more. Hit the like button. Leave a review, suggestions down in the comments down below. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at Pod Player Entertainment for channel updates and some bonus content. And much love.